Hi, welcome to Grow with Angie. I'm Angie, and today we're going to be talking about the dirty truth with hydroponics. Specifically, I'm going to show you the Iharvest. Now, this could be true for any hydroponic system, whether it be the tower garden, the aerial garden, or DIY, or many other types that are out there. They all get dirty. They can get dirty with the algae, the food crustacean, bugs, which I've talked about before, dead leaves falling off and sticking to the trellises, and every once in a while you have to do what's called a reset. Take everything out, harvest it all, and start over. And then you have this dirty mess. I'm gonna walk you through how I took one of these apart, cleaned it, put it back together, and reset. So if you're ready, let's get dirty. So this is my unit from October, and it is the end of June. It's been around for a while, but I do want to keep the green pepper plants and the kale. But you can see here, this is what I call the food crustacean. This is the food buildup around each one of the net cups that gets stuck kind of underneath of the reflective covers. And sadly, I had a root that got stuck. I pulled the plant out and it is twisted to the bottom of the unit. Once I opened up the top of the unit, I was really happy with the lack of algae. And again, I give full credit to those reflective covers for keeping the algae at bay. But yeah, it's still dirty inside. And once I looked into the corner and saw that one root, it is so hung up into the mesh on the bottom. There's just no getting to it. I can't pull it out, and I'm gonna have to clean. I can't leave this guy down here. It's gonna sit and it's gonna rot and it's gonna make more of a mess than you can see it already has. So that was a real determination for me that it was time to pull this all apart, get that mesh out, clean those old roots out, and spray out any of the extra algae that is down inside. But other than that, I was really happy with how kind of clean it is. Here's my green pepper plants that I want to keep. So they got a bath in water to make sure that they didn't have any bugs on them. And I just let the roots sit in the sink so they don't dry out while I am deep cleaning the rest of the unit. Once outside, I just used the regular hose with the regular high stream. I have heard some people that use a power washer, and although I have one, I did not use it. So if you have a normal hose attachment, you should be fine just spraying it down with that. Now again, getting the food off is probably about the hardest part. I'd like to give a shout out to my mother-in-law for knitting me these great little scrubbies, and it really did help. It's gonna take a little bit of work, a little bit of elbow grease, but you can get it off. So just take your time. Take a nice hot day, enjoy the hose, and get in there and get dirty and just scrub those corners out. It's the only way it's going to come off. Most of the algae residue comes off fairly easy just with the hose and a good wipe down. The water in my tank still looks good. The discoloration is from pH and food levels, but everything's set and I don't want to mess with it. I'm just going to go ahead and put it back together just like I did when I first got it. If you need instructions on assembly, check out my full unboxing video. Once the unit was back together, I just capped off the holes of the plants that I'm not sure yet what I want to replant, and put all the green peppers up at the top because they're so tall. But look how clean and pretty this is. Cleaning it was not all the drama that I thought it was gonna be. While tearing apart the old unit, I looked at my new one. And since I moved a lot of the old plants over, like my basil that's been around forever, I could tell those old plants got this one dirty quick. And look at the bugs. You guys, my aphids. I'm so frustrated with the bugs, and they're eating my cilantro and they're eating my dill, and everything just needed to be pulled. I have to start over. It's the only thing that's going to make me feel good about continuing with these units. Okay, my growing community. Before I get all the questions of, did you just throw that all away? What did you do with all of your lettuces? Let me tell you, nothing goes to waste. These girls don't care if it's infected with aphids or if it started bolting. I leave the rapid rooters right in and they peck around them where I can pick them up later in the day. It is a win-win situation. They love the Iharvest just as much as I do, and I don't feel like the weeks or months of growing went to waste. They get a nice, healthy green meal, my aphids are gone, and we're a happy homestead. Now in my newest unit I set up in April, the old plants that were moved over have obvious root rot. You can see how dark and almost mushy the roots are. By pulling out the basil, trimming all of these roots back, I'm hoping to be able to keep the basil as they're my longest growing plants, and I really want to see how long I can keep them growing. What I'm going to do is take the actual bug spray mix. If you watch my video on how to control bugs, I did find one product that I absolutely love, and it's in a concentrate form. I'm going to wipe down the entire unit with that bug spray. So any bugs that are left around the cracks and crevices of the unit, I'm going to get rid of them, and leaving the unit without any plants in it for a while will make them go away. Here's the unit totally clean, and I ran out of the little spacer, so I just used my reflective covers. And there's the basil all cut down, trimmed down, and hopefully it will keep going and be strong and healthy. Now comes the fun part, getting out all the seeds, having all the net cups nice and washed and cleaned up, got my rapid rooters out, and just planning what seeds I want to start my unit again. And here's kind of how I journal. Yes, I will have a journal video coming soon for those of you who have asked how I've journaled. I just use a calendar, a blank one, and create each spot of the unit as far as where my plants will go. All right, the full reset is done. Look at the kale and the rainbow Swiss chard, and my green pepper plants did very well with the transplant and the move. And there's flowers everywhere, and we even have baby green peppers. This is the first time I've tried them hydroponically, and honestly my plants are doing better than the ones outside. But everything is nice and clean. New baby plants are growing and filling in the spaces. The basil did really well at the transplant as well. The green onion did too. Lots of new things to grow and harvest. It's like a fresh new start. And look how beautifully clean these units are. Everything's so nice and crisp and white. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. And we'll catch you on the next episode of Grow with Angie.